Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow program. Thank you for growing with me on today. I want to let you know God is so good. God is so good. Anytime that I can be close to the Lord, which is outside, that is what I am going to do. I want you to know that what you are getting is the 100% real deal, holy feel. See, you're not getting a preacher who listens to people's problems and then turn around and preach about them. No, what you are getting is someone who has lived through the oppression that this country has to offer, along with the oppression that I put myself through, and how I overcame, and how we are growing in love. You know, how God has put the message on me. Love drives out hate. How God has appointed guardian angels, ancestors, beloved ancestors, to watch over us, to guide us, and they are with us. But see, what we do is we branch off, start doing our own different thing, start going on off in different directions, like you see the trees doing, branching off a different way. You look at that tree, why is it branched off? Like, because it's doing its own thing, like we do. And so we get messed all up and not doing God's will and doing our will and get things all messed up. Sometimes that branch that branched off will fall off and die, because just fall. I'm just telling you, that's why we got to try. That's why we got to stay rooted, deeply rooted, planted in the Lord and growing like a rose, which we are, beautiful and unique, growing in God's army, in God's garden, soldier in his battlefield, fighting in the army of the Lord. We are more than a conqueror. See, I'm going to tell you something. Now, this is what people mess up at. They fall up under this religion thing where they say, oh, Jesus gonna forgive me, so then they keep on doing wrong. No, that's not how it works. See, God looks at your heart. And see, it comes a time in life where you sit there and say, I'm tired of doing wrong. I'm ready to do right. I'm ready to do different. I'm ready to be different. See, we got a better way of thinking, a better way of acting, a better way of living. Fix your heart, change your mind, and grow in God. Start doing better, trying to reach your greatness in God. You are a legend. I don't care what they called you. I don't care what they said you would. I don't care what they how they last left you. When they last talked to you, what they last said, what they last wrote, what you last heard. I'm going to tell you, you are more than a conqueror in God. And see, you can let go of that foolishness, because you either going to be on the side of good or you're going to be on the side of evil. You want to do right or you want to do wrong. You want to get right or you want to get left. Either or. You got to make up your mind which way you want to go, how you want to do this. And prayerfully, you're going to do it in God with me. And we're going to keep on growing, because, see, this is part of a movement. We are part of a movement. The freedom fighters, they didn't die in vain. We are not going to be like ships lost in uncharted waters. Don't even, can't remember where we came from. Always clawing at one another. No, they ain't gonna never do nothing. They ain't gonna never get nowhere. They ain't gonna never have nothing. And be one of the naysayers. Steady clawing like crabs in a bucket. We can't never get nowhere. We can't never see one another nowhere. We can't see one another have nothing. Don't want to see one another with nothing, hating on one another. We got to come up out of that. I'm going to tell you something. We are all beautiful queens in our own way. I can't sit up here and hate on this queen because she pretty. God made us all unique and beautiful. All of us. When I look at another woman, I see another queen, another conqueror in God that God created. She is another rose in God's garden. If you notice, when you notice a rose garden, it ain't just one rose. It's a whole bunch of roses, all unique and different in the garden, and that's how we are. We are all unique and different in God's garden. We are all legends. We are all conquerors. Kings, you are all conquerors. You are more than a conqueror. I want you to think about some kings. Think about that day when you had that really, really, really bad day. and how you didn't think you were going to even make it through. You just, I don't know. You thought this was it for you. You thought it was over with, but look at you now. You done came through there. Just turn back and look at it for a minute. Don't stare at it. Don't go back to it. Just look at it. Look what God pulled you out of. Look what you pulled through. Look what you overcame. Look how you made it. I'm telling you. So I'm going to tell you now. What you went through then wasn't nothing, honey. You can get through it. You can make it. That ain't nothing. You are more than a conqueror in God. And I want you to rise up. And I want you to say that to yourself. If you got to give yourself a little pep talk, because see, that's what happened to me. Because sometimes, the oppression is so overwhelming. It really, truly is. It's so overwhelming, the oppression that we put on ourselves. And on top of that, to realize that we don't even mean nothing to this country. That's oppression in itself. Because when I came out of my marriage, I thought, when I'm steady seeing my people getting killed on TV, I'm steady seeing this. I'm like, wow, so nothing's going to be done. Nobody's going to do anything. Nothing. You mean tell me, and this was back when Rodney King, and I saw the police officers got off with it, and we all saw him beat him. We all saw what happened on TV. So, the oppression itself is overwhelming to know that you don't even mean nothing to your country. But now you got to know that now, we have a president in office who is looking at things through God's eye. He looking at things a little different. He looking at things with a heart. He looking at things with compassion. He looking at things with empathy. He looking at mistakes that he made, and he trying to correct those mistakes. You got to stand up for that if you don't stand up for nothing. And I appreciate that out of the president of the United States. If nothing else, I appreciate that. How he is at least trying to make things different. He is one man, and he got the answer to a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of different people who helped propel him into that office. So see, you got to be a little bit understanding here at what's going on. I'm telling you, but one thing, we are one nation under God, and we are supposed to love. We are commanded to love. We are commanded to love one another, not hate one another, not hurt one another, not denigrate one another, not call one another names. You ain't none of this N. You ain't none of that B. We got to do better, people. We got to see, because we don't want our children falling victims to this oppression. We really truly don't. When we look at our kids, we see all kind of hopes and dreams in them. That aspirations that we didn't have, dreams that our grandparents didn't have, and their grandparents, our ancestors didn't have. We want a better future for our generation. So we got to put in what we want out. We got to start doing different. We got to do different with this in the spiritual warfare, and the way we treating people is just horrible. It's really bad. With this narcissism, these people don't even care. As far as, anything about their behavior, anything whatsoever, it don't even matter to a judge. He was just cursing the judge and everything, just cursing this morning. And it didn't even matter, that we are in a court of law where we're supposed to act like we're respectful. He didn't even do that. I was a B in court, and it was some, all this other stuff. I mean, he just so disrespectful, so evil. So the judge saw firsthand the abuse that I have been suffering for the past 3 years. And so he told the judge he ready to get on with his life and ready to move on. Just like the damage that he's done to me, not only me, but my daughter, because my daughter has lost trust in people. My daughter, she's 16. She don't even want to go in the store by herself. She's just almost kind of like a baby again. And I'm nurturing her back up to be the young woman, within the next year and a half that I have left with her till she turns 18, to get her back together. So she is now in counseling because of the abuse that he inflicted upon us. And so not only that, but I want to tell you, it's hard. So the judge ordered us mediation. We are going to mediation so the judge can determine what damages have been done through a mediator. And he cursed the judge when he heard that, and he didn't. And the judge said, well, it's up to you. If you don't want to attend, I'll go ahead and take that into consideration. So that's where we are now. But the narcissism, the behavior has to be outed. This has to end, because had it not been for God, I'm telling you, had it not been for God, I probably would have handed my daughter to her sister and killed myself, because it was just too much to bear. But God in a haunted house pulled me out of it, pulled me through, lifted me up, brought me out, showed me that there is hope, gave me the light, gave me the love. I have the GROW program. We are growing in love, and even though it pushed out hate, that I didn't need in my life anyway, I'm so much more peaceful and happy and joyful that I don't listen to nobody's chaos, negativity, and drama. I don't feed into no gossip, all day long. I hear the wisdom from God, to propel us forward, to lift us as a people, and the oppression that I have went through, the experiences that I have learned, because my mother always said experience is the best teacher. Experience is the going through something. How can you really be a preacher if you ain't never went through nothing? What are you preaching on? You preaching on somebody else's story. You preaching on somebody else's life. You preaching on, you go to school. They say you go to school to be a preacher. That's good. You got a preacher degree behind you. But do you have a calling on your life? Do you have a calling for God's people? Do you have a good, true will at heart? Or are you in it for the money? Are you in it to win it? Or are you one of these narcissistic people out here trying to get yours? Because I'm going to tell you something. Everything in the GROW program is going into the GROW program. I can only live in one house, and really ride around in one car. That's the only thing I need. But I want to see my people rise. I want to see my people lifted. I want to see us stop tearing one another down. Because, see, this would have killed me. Dealing with a narcissistic husband, and now come to find out narcissistic abuse awareness. This is real. This is something that is really real. And he admitted it in court that, yes, he is, and he proud of it. Your Honor, I'm ready to get on with my life and forget the damage that you've done in the past. Forget what you left. All this collateral damage you left. You left a scarred child, and you ready to just move on with your life like nothing ain't happened? No, sir. He told the judge he didn't want to air the dirty laundry. Well, when it involves a child, there is, the judge would like to hear what's going on, what's the dirty laundry is. That's that. Her watching the abuse that I suffered, and now her knowing that he's an admitted narcissist is damaging to anyone, especially to a child, who tried to build a relationship with him only to find out that the relationship was phony. It was fake. It was all for money, So even though he don't have no money, he ain't got nothing, but it's the point. It's the principle. He's going to pay something. I'm telling you, even if it's $1, he going to pay something for what he's done, the damage that he's done, because I don't want him to do this to anyone else, and he's already on to somebody else. He even admitted that, it's pretty much in court today. So, people, we're going to beat this spiritual warfare, because it's a battle of good and evil. We're going to be either on the good side, or we either going to be on the bad side. And we're not going to keep going with this. Jesus going to forgive me. Jesus going to forgive me. Because, see, we're going to be judged by the heart. And, see, your heart is showing that you ain't even trying to do right. You just want to keep on because you're going to be forgiven. You're going to be forgiven, but you're going to be judged by your heart in the spirit world. And the spirit world is real. I lived in a haunted house. The Holy Ghost is not the only ghost here. It's some other ghosts here. It's some evil ghosts here. It's some good ghosts here. It's some good guardian angels here. It's some good spirits here, ready to guide us, ready to guide us on into greatness if we ready to allow them to do that. We must be ready to allow them. We have to let go and let God. It can't be your will, and you got to quit drinking, because drinking leads to stinking thinking. That ain't the proper way to think. Trust me, you talking to a functioning alcoholic. I thought I had it together, back then. No, I did not have it together, honey. I was doing me, and doing me was messing me up. It really, truly was. Anytime you go into a liquor store, and you ain't even got to say nothing. They just go to the shelf and get what you want. You messed up. I didn't like that. So I had to start going to another store. So see, that's some messed up stuff. So we got the oppression. That's what causes us. We take it out internally on ourselves. And drinking is a part of that. And we got to stop doing that. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. The light of God, love. Love one another. Show the light of God. Show the light of God all over the world. I love you. Let's rise.